Hi, Dave here from Melbourne SEO and Video, and I've got a very exciting interview here. We're talking with Geraldine from Everywhereist. Wanted to give you a little bit of a backstory in a successful blog and what it takes to build a great online presence and have an audience that just loves the material you put out. So Geraldine's got a fantastic blog, and you'll have to check it out. We'll put a URL there.
Yeah.
But I suppose I wanted to just go back and get a little bit of an idea of the time it took to get to where you are, because sometimes from the outside looking in it feels like an overnight success for people,
Right.
But I think I saw in the presentation the other day your Google Analytics chart, it was far from an overnight success.
Yeah, well, it was about 2 years of blogging before it really got any attention or any traffic. And there's kind of that expression, like, trying your whole life to become an overnight success. So it was a little bit of that. So I was about 2 years in, and I remember I didn't even get an email, but it ended up being written in Time magazine, and I found out because I noticed a spike in traffic, and it was a pretty easy spike to see because the day before I had 100 visitors, and that morning I had 16,000, and I said, okay, something's going on.
Yeah.
So for me, it was 2 years before any national press, any really big write-ups or anything like that, and I've talked to Rand, and he said he was shocked that it was that short of a time because he was anticipating 4 or 5 years.
Yeah. Once that sort of spike happened, I know a lot of people get little spikes like that, but then they don't take advantage of it, and it kind of just falls away, and things can kind of go back. So what did you do to kind of capitalize on that?
Well,
did you think about it? Because you weren't expecting it.
I wasn't expecting it, and the thing is, I had little spikes prior to that, and the audience just kind of, they were there for a second, and they just kind of fell away. So I would say, honestly, keep at it and know that even if you get a little spike, it might drop down. Don't get discouraged. Just keep writing, because eventually there will be one that will lead to an audience that will stick around for a longer time.
And what then has been your focus? Obviously, getting that Time magazine article was good. You would have got a lot of subscribers.
It was kind of a lucky break, though. Honestly,
being married to someone who is so heavily invested in SEO.
Yes.
I'm just wondering if that has been a core part of what you do, or
I might get in a lot of trouble. You're going to get me in trouble with my husband. So I guess the thing is, I was looking at other travel blogs out there, and I was seeing what everyone else was doing, and they were creating these amazing guides, and they were optimizing for, search terms around a certain city, and they were getting traffic that way, and I thought, that's just not me. I can't do any of that. I'm not good at creating guides or giving useful and helpful advice, so I thought, I'm just going to try and create a narrative of my life and my travels. So that was my goal. I wasn't really looking at anything other than creating a really good story that I wanted people to read. Miraculously, people found it. So
And how are they finding it? Obviously, there was that first spike.
Usually by accident, as terrible as it is.
Someone types a really obscure search term in.
Exactly. I've got a long tail of really strange search terms. I think I rank for Bavarian foods that you should eat. I rank for mosquito bite, home remedies for mosquito bites.
And why you should go on holidays with your mum only once.
God. I don't know if I might rank for why you shouldn't travel with your parents. Just lots of really random search terms. It's a few things went viral, so I was lucky in that respect. And I'm really fortunate that I have kind of a great marketing team in my husband, who's always, championing my stuff and encouraging me to do the same. I would say one of the things that I really tried to do was build up a Twitter following. I found that helped a lot. So I try and tweet interesting articles that don't necessarily pertain to travel, and I just try and be an interesting Twitter feed. So hopefully more people will follow that, and then I get a bit of traffic that way by promoting my own articles every now and then.
So then what's the core strategy that you're focusing on, or you might not even think in terms of strategy, but is it just putting out great content and, if you build it, they will come, or hoping that Rand will get a little bit of a push, or what's it?
I would honestly tell people, as hypocritical as it sounds, because I don't do it, you do need to do a bit of SEO and a bit of marketing. And I think my approach has been kind of the opposite of that, just because I'm really obstinate and my husband is in SEO, and that's not something I think other people should do. I think they should, and he's said it time and again. It takes like 2 or 3 minutes to optimize an article. But I don't do any of that. For me, and I think part of it is I think a lot of people go into it saying, I want to create a blog that people will read. I want to create, a business that will stem out of this. And I think if you're doing that, then you absolutely need to take steps to build your traffic. I was just trying to keep myself busy while I was freelancing. I was doing a lot of work and I didn't really have a creative outlet. And I thought, I'm not, this client work that I'm doing, I'm not writing what I want to write. Yeah. So I just started writing a blog for me and kind of amazingly did well. And I'm shocked every day that people read it. But I would say, in terms of not getting discouraged, that is a good mentality to have. Write for you and write things that make you happy, and do it because you love it, and know that even if an audience didn't come, you would still be doing this. Yeah.
And I think we could even say, though, you know the rules, so you know when to break the rules.
Yeah.
So that's
and part of it is, I always say I do SEO by osmosis, I'm around it so much that it inadvertently comes out. And so I do notice that I'll think about search terms, and I will think about the queries that people are entering into search engines and what they're looking for.
The subconscious.
It's there, and I pretend that it isn't, but it's a little bit there.
So if people wanted to find you, is there something they could type into Google that means they'd find you?
I'm trying to think of things.
We could go for the brand term,
I know.
Everywhereist. You come up number one for that one.
I should hope so. Gosh, I really hope I do. So everywhere, IST, so all one word. So I know I rank for that. And some other search terms that we probably can't discuss because they might be a bit untoward. Have you noticed that usually the long tail stuff is really strange, and you find yourself ranking for stuff that I know what is going on? So, yeah.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And I hope you have a good travel, safe travel home.
Thanks. I hope so. Yeah, and we'll be back. We'll be back in Australia.
Hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.